Welcome to the Bourbon Doctors. Today, we've got another new episode. This is Chad. I'm Albert. What are we doing today?
Today, I'm on social media one day, and I see a thing, someone's raving about a Blanton's Old Fashioned, and I said, are you insane? Why would you take Blanton's and make a cocktail out of it? That's blasphemy. Just pour it in a glass and drink it. There's much better, you can make a cocktail with a much lesser whiskey, much lesser expensive. It's sort of like taking that steakhouse steak, the beautiful steak, and putting Heinz 57.
Or A1.
Just putting stuff on it that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
Okay? And so the question came up, is a cocktail better with an expensive bourbon, A, and is it worth it? What do you think?
So I have to say, when I saw that was, I mean, yes, my first thought was like, I wouldn't put it in an old fashioned. I'd just drink my Blanton straight. But I am, we've covered this. Like, I'm a neat whiskey guy. I don't love cocktails so much. I'd just rather drink my bourbon with nothing else. But that's not everybody's thing. And maybe it's not necessarily the more expensive bourbons, but some of the higher proof bourbons, some of the more flavorful expressions of these whiskeys, I go, maybe it does make a better cocktail.
But we don't know.
But we don't know.
But we are going to find out. And so we have picked...
It's science, baby.
And it can be all over the place. Yeah, we're the doctors.
Anyway. We're going to be scientific about it.
And we decided, we'd go with a couple Buffalo Trace products because this is what started the controversy, and I hate to do it. We're going to make an old-fashioned out of Buffalo Trace and Blanton's and try it and say, is it really that much better, or is there no difference? And if there's no difference, just get it with this. Yeah. But we said, you know what? We can't just limit it to one distillery. No. So what do you do?
Like, we're going to make a Manhattan with some Wild Turkey products. And we have some Russell's Reserve, the single barrel, and we have the Wild Turkey 101. Again, one tasting, one experiment does not prove your point. So let's throw in a second. And yes, I know 2 is still a small sample size.
We thought about other distilleries. We thought about doing Jim Beam, like a Jim Beam Black versus Booker's. You could do that. You could do, what else? We could do the Old Forester, the higher end Old Forester versus Old Forester 100.
Yeah, there's Evan Williams. Everybody has a low end and a high end.
Evan Hill.
Yeah.
You could even do Maker's Mark, which is, the 46 against the base. But I think the point we're trying to make is, do you need a more, is it really better? That more expensive bourbon in your cocktail, is it really better? Or is it better to just get that neat and use a lesser expensive bourbon for your cocktails? And let's find out.
Let's figure it out.
So we're going to mix these up and go. All right, ready to rumble, I guess, is what our production assistant
That's what he said,
right?
Ready to rumble.
We're ready to rumble. So what we have here is I've made a Buffalo Trace Old Fashioned and a Blanton's Old Fashioned.
A Manhattan with Russell's Reserve and a Manhattan with Wild Turkey 101.
And so you have, should we start with the Old Fashions or the Manhattan?
Let's start with the Old Fashions, and let's just,
So you want me to do the Buffalo Trace ones first?
Sure, hand me a Buffalo Trace.
Okay, Buffalo Trace Old Fashioned.
I mean, that's good.
It's an Old Fashioned.
It's an Old Fashioned.
It's perfect.
It's, yeah. I appreciate that you made little pieces of ice for my little glass.
It's perfect.
It's really good.
That is really good. And I made it, I must say so myself.
Is it better?
Okay, now let's see if this one, and your friends go, I have a Blanton's Old Fashioned, and it's $20 more. Or it's $20, and this one's $10. And let's just say, is it
better?
Better.
No.
Not at all. It's exactly
not at
the
all.
Same.
It's not the least bit better. It is just significantly more expensive is what it is.
It is to me exactly the same.
I taste no difference in this whatsoever.
This is like it's the same. These are not the same whiskeys at all, but when you put them into an old fashioned with a little simple syrup and some orange and some cherry and a little bitters, you can't tell the difference. Between the two. No. I can't. Can you?
No, I can't. Now, again,
we
talked about confounding variables. We used the same amounts of simple syrup, the same amounts of vermouth, the same, right, to keep this an honest experiment as best as we can. Yeah. Now, we use the same distillery. If we would have changed Blanton, the Buffalo Trace, to something, say, an Evan Williams, would we then notice a difference? I don't know. But at least,
It's not.
again,
Here's what I'll
that's,
tell you.
we try to take out the confounding variables as much as we can. Mash bill's the same, so
Well, let's try your Manhattans.
let's try the Manhattans.
And see if there's a difference there. I mean,
We go cheap first.
sure.
All right, so there's your
Wild Turkey
Wild
101
Turkey 101.
Manhattan. That's good, brother.
That's good.
Make a nice Manhattan.
Oh, thank you. It's yeah, it's tastes like a Manhattan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know,
And this is with a $20 bottle of whiskey.
very good.
And if we
Went with a what is
$60
that? $60, the Russell's Reserve single barrel, and that's a significantly higher proof, right? What is this?
I don't actually know. Is it?
It's the single barrel.
No, it's only 110.
Oh, so not.
So it's
a lot higher.
not a significant change in proof. Our production assistant is also our cameraman. There is a slight difference.
There's difference. Yeah, actually, I
There's
noticed this one. I notice a difference.
This one I
it's
do.
odd.
Is it?
I'm trying to decide if it's better. I'm not sure if it's better or worse.
No, I don't know if it's better. It is different. And I do think the flavor profile, even though it's the same distillery, I do think the flavor profiles are slightly different here.
It's different for sure, but I'm trying to decide if
Is
I
it
like the first one.
better? I don't. I actually might like the cheaper version better.
I like the 101 Manhattan better.
I actually like my Manhattan a little bit better with the Wild Turkey, which makes me feel even worse about. Because I like this bottle.
But it's, here's the bottom line is, if you're going to have a cocktail, you do not need to go high-end whiskey for your cocktails. If you're ordering a Manhattan, an old-fashioned, whatever it may be, to use Blanton's or Russell's Reserve is not going to be any different than a little cheaper whiskey. It's going to taste pretty much the same, maybe even better. I mean, we think the Wild Turkey 101 is
better.
I think that's a better Manhattan.
I agree.
The 101, and maybe it just has to do with the flavor profile. That's a single barrel. But the bottom line is, if you're at the bar and you're ordering a high-end whiskey cocktail, you're just doing it to show off.
You don't need to show off by drinking your whiskey,
By
man.
drinking
Like,
whiskey.
just
No,
drink it.
just
Like,
have
enjoy
fun.
it. Like, yeah.
So I think that's the bottom line is it's kind of what we thought, and it's our bias is if you get an expensive whiskey, just pour it in a glass.
Yeah.
If you
I would say for the most part, look, if you're going to pay money,
And you have a choice.
and
you have a choice.
and you're faced with, I'm going to pay more money for more expensive whiskey or less money for less expensive whiskey, and I'm making a cocktail, dude, save your money, drink the cheaper whiskey, and save the better whiskey for when you're just drinking it neat.
Yeah, and I love these. This is good.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, man.
What do you say?
I think we proved our point.
We proved our point.
So, keep the comments coming.
Yeah.
Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the little bell thingy so you get notifications. And
I'll give you a shout out. Thanks for your comments. Keep them coming because we really do appreciate it. And positive, negative,
Yeah.
we can all learn from stuff. And bourbon is for drinking, brother.
bourbon is for drinking. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.